Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I hope, okay, all that stuff disappeared. So let me just make sure everything's good here. Hold on one second. Okay, let me get that pinned comment. I did change it a little bit, just to kind of say two important things that so at the end, I know a lot of that there's some people you'll add your name at the beginning, which is fine. There's no problem with that. But what happens when we get towards the end of the live, when I go to do the drawing, I maybe you jump off because there's something else going on, which that's not a problem, no issue at all. The problem is when I go to do the drawing, and then if you're not here, then I have to then figure out, okay, now what do I do? So just to kind of keep everything going, I did add the little note that you do need to be present when I do the drawing, in order to win. And also, if you are a new winner, meaning maybe it's your first time watching, if I haven't sent you a card before, then yeah, I do need you to email me your mailing address. So I actually have that little verbiage. Um, where did I get my stitch? Well, Elvis Stitch, all these little guys. And then there's this other one that I got that I didn't take out quite yet. These all actually came from Five Below. Five Below has a lot of Stitch stuff. It used to be like soon as you came in the store, there was a whole shelf of everything. And then I think as they had back to school going on, they put like keyboards and calculators and fans and a couple of other little things. But yeah, all of this, well, Bucky came from, Bucky's, actually, where was it? Bay Baytown, Texas, right there outside of Houston. Yeah, we kind of picked him up on the way back when Andrea and myself went to On Stage when it was in Houston, not last year, but the year before. So, who is on here? We got lots of people. You guys are on here and you're already starting to chat and everything before I ever hit go live. So, I had to make sure I had everything taken care of, like the blinds are closed. I did set my alarm, so hopefully nobody messes with my door and sets that off, because that would not be good. Because when that thing goes off, it's loud. And then I get very anxious, and I have one or two ways to turn that thing off. It's either through this phone, or I can actually bring it up on my laptop to do it. So hopefully none of that'll happen. Yvonne's not I don't see Yvonne on here, but Yvonne won't, she's not going to physically be here tonight or this weekend. She's going to come next weekend. What if she's going to show up because of the live that I'm going to do tomorrow? I mean, she get to see some of the stuff when she was here last week because I did have it, but the rest of the stuff showed up, I think that Monday, as a matter of fact. So she hadn't seen that stuff in person yet. um so who's here? So Becky, I saw that you were here first. And Becky, like I mentioned, that email that you sent me, I will make mention of that. If there's any clarification that needs to be done, just chime in. But yeah, I do have that email printed out so I can read it off later on when I flip the camera. Um, and we got Froggy and Deborah and Carol, Terry and Tracy, and Sharon. Yeah, that's all I see right now. But hey, everybody, thank you for being here. You guys are what I really need tonight, because The week is no better than any of the other weeks I've had the past few weeks. Actually, today was one of those days that, let's just say, if I was able to, I would have literally went and said, I quit. And I'm talking about my job. And I'll kind of leave it at that because, yeah, when I'm to the point where it's just totally affecting my mood, it's, say, the language hasn't been very good either. It just how I feel in general. Yeah, I'm just like so over it, and I know that this weekend I gotta spend some time, and I'm gonna be looking for stuff and applying to jobs big time because, yeah, yeah, Yvonne better remember, I know where she lives. She better show up. Because one time she said she forgot. How you forget? You know that I'm here every Friday. You're supposed to be my assistant, right? But anyway, so it's been, it has not been good on that front. And unfortunately, I just can't walk away unless I have something else to go into because, yeah, I'm the one that pays the bills here, nobody else. So, yeah. So this is a happy distraction to that. Plus the work day's done anyway, and I need to turn the fan on. Hold on one second. And hopefully that sound doesn't interfere with anything. Let me know if you can hear it and it affects the sound and all that. Um, what else? Oh yeah. So on top of the aggravation from that, it was going to be nice to just kind of sleep in a little bit tomorrow and then, get up, put myself together, and go run a few errands and then get back here in time to get things together and ready for tomorrow night. So, but yeah, at 5, about quarter to 6, I got an email plus a text message to say that, okay, just back it up a little bit. Where I live, the property has a company that's come in that is putting new asphalt and painting the lines, and hopefully the person that paints the lines this time isn't high or is drunk, because these lines back here, I cannot park my car straight. And I can park my car straight, backing in, I can park it straight. However, when people don't park straight and the lines are all crooked, my car always looks like that it's parked crooked. And so they've been working on the east side of the property this past week, and then I'm on the west side. So yeah, the email and the text message basically said that tomorrow at 8 a.m., they bolded that, 8 a.m., they were going to be working in the area where I live and where my car is parked. So that means now I got to figure out where to move my car. And then, so I got to get up way before 8 to do that. And got to move my car, then come back in, do what I need to do, and then walk to my car and do whatever I need to do. Now, the one good thing is that even though it's going to be like in the low 90s, it's not going to be like this heat index of 108, 110 like it was very early in the week and last week. So it's supposed to be cooler, so that's a good thing. I mean, it is early in the morning, but also next week it's supposed to be all in the 80s. Now that's still warm, but that's better than what it's been. Guys, if you were here, you walk into my apartment, you would think fall had thrown up in my apartment because I had already started decorating my apartment for fall about 2 weeks or so ago, because you know what? I got to do things that make me happy, right? the things that just makes me feel good and makes me feel happy. And the fall stuff is definitely that. So, um, but yeah, so tomorrow I have to go and do that. Now, my car needs to stay wherever I'm going to put it because, yeah, it's going to be about 36 hours before I can put my car back. Well, basically 36 hours after they have put down the asphalt. So I don't know how long it's going to take them to do it because all the work they've been doing has been on the other side of the property. And I honestly have not seen anything done over there because I don't drive on that side. So yeah, that's going on too. Always something. But yes, tomorrow, I made mention about tomorrow. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m., I'm going to do a special live. Instead of showing my pre-order from the new holiday mini and the online exclusives, like say before or after my Friday night live, I'm going to do a whole separate live for that because if I add that onto this, we could be here for a lot longer than 2 hours. And yeah, we don't want that. That's just too long. So, what I'm doing is, I think the projects that I've done, especially the first two cards, are going to go super quick. I'm really utilizing the designer series paper for this suite, and anything that needed to be fussy cut has already been done. So it's just really doing just a tiny bit of stamping and assembling for those first two cards. The other card, I mean, it's not really, I don't even think it's using any designer series paper on it. But there's coloring involved. So we should be fairly quick on this, but I do have a lot of stuff that I do want to talk about beforehand, so there's that housekeeping stuff. Um, some of you may or may not have heard of some of the changes that are coming. I mean, I don't know how I really feel about it, but yeah, I'm going to kind of talk about that some. What else? Oh, upcoming events. Also, there is something Becky had sent me in an email that I do want to make mention of that as well. An upcoming event. We're already talking about World Card Making Day, and that's always the first weekend in October, the first Saturday in October. And yep, Stampin' Up has already made mention of what they're doing for that day. So I have to kind of figure out what I'm going to do for that day as well. I may be doing a live that evening. But we're going to see what happens. I mean, I still got a little bit of time. I still got September to plan. And September I will, because here's the thing. One of the problems that I have had, and this is why I do Throwback Thursdays, is one, when a catalog kind of gets near to the point where it's going to retire, and there's still stuff that I haven't gotten, I end up ordering, like, say, all these stamp sets. And then once I get them, I've been pretty good on putting them, mixing them all in with everything else. And so Christmas is all together on one shelf itself. And I've kind of like run out of room. So I've got to figure that out. And I put it in there alphabetically. All the rest of them, there's a lot that I've pulled that have retired, and other stuff that I had gotten as well when the other catalog retired that I still need to put away. But what happens once it's put away, I kind of forget about it. I mean, when I see it, there's a reason why I want it, because there was something about it that I really like. And that could be like a greeting, or it could be just an image or something. So, with that being said, with the haul that I have from the pre-order, I'm going to start, kind of earlier on the stuff. I mean, some of it's like fall, then you got a little bit of Halloween, and then of course you got Christmas. And because of that, I want to try and really use all of that stuff before the catalog is done. And things could be different with this particular catalog and the online exclusives. And I'll explain that when I get to that announcement. So I think that that's all that I have as far as, just talking. I've given it a little bit of time, about 15 minutes, for people to come on. We don't see Yvonne on here yet, so we're going to call her out when she comes on, right? If she comes on. Um, Terry, Terry, do me a favor, text her. See where she is. Because oh, you did already. Thank you. Um, so I did, I did something a little bit different. Oh, and Don too. And we're going to see how this works because my setup on this table has always been the laptop was always like in this corner over here. Well, now I've put it in this corner. So the trash bin, the pop-up trash bin is now on this side. So I'm not kind of like reaching across. And we're going to see how this setup works to see if it's going to be better than the other way, and we'll see how it works. But I don't know if you'll see the difference or not. But we're gonna see how it all goes. So let me take this and let me flip this really quick and kind of get it all lined up and straight and move it down. And like I said, this sometimes the thing has to be set up a little bit better. I can move this down. I didn't tape this, let me move this. Because we don't need that right now. And we got that. And of course there's always that little delay. All right, so now let me, well, first let me take a sip of water. Okay. From my really awesome flamingo cup. This thing is huge. Compliments of Terry. Thank you very. Terry, ever since you gave me that thing, that's what I've been drinking my water out of every single day. So it does get used a whole lot. All right. So again, I don't know why I keep mentioning the stuff you guys know. Every 2 months, Stampin' Up is going to add more things to Last Chance products. And so every 2 months, so at the beginning of August, they have added stuff. Some things they discounted more. There are more things that are added in here that I will talk about in a little bit. But yeah, this is an ongoing thing. This is where all of the things that are going to be retired are going to go, and it includes the kits, anything that was online exclusive, and any of the catalogs as well. The past catalogs, that is. Then we still have this 2025 to 2027 in color product sale, 15% off. This goes until the end of August. And I actually placed a little order to include like another pack of cardstock. With cardstock, oh, there she is. Okay, Yvonne, just as long as you remember. I'm kidding. Or am I? No, I'm we're fine. I'm feeling a little silly now. Um, but anyway, I did, because cardstock, the price of cardstock had gone up kind of substantially with this new annual catalog. So I did take advantage of the sale, and I picked up another pack of each of the cardstock. I mean, reinkers, ink pads, I'm good with that. another pack of those pearl embellishments. And so if you don't have the Stampin' Blends in the new colors or the cardstock or any of the inks, even the ribbons, now's a perfect. You did forget? Really? Uh-huh, Vaughn. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. But yeah, if you haven't gotten any of the new in color stuff quite yet, now's a perfect time because you can save 15% on that. Also, this is approaching fairly quickly because we're already on the 22nd of August. So for the month of September, the fall for 12, and this is bouncing up and down. We don't want it to do that. Hold on. Usually when I bring it up just a little bit, it stops doing that. We don't like when it does that. Um, so this is the one that I was mentioning that I was really, stop bouncing. The screen is bouncing in and out, and I don't like that. Let me move it up a little bit more and see if that's okay. All right. So with this paper pumpkin, this is the one that I'm really, really looking forward to. It does coordinate with the autumn Twal Sweet Collection. So the Sweet Collection is not something that is an online exclusive item because when I first knew about this, I didn't know if it was going to be a mini catalog or an online exclusive. But I will tell you that it's a mega sweet because there's two stamp and die bundles in this. Um, this suite, I will show it tomorrow night. Oh my word. It is just, oh, it's awesome. And there's also another fall suite that's part of the online exclusive. So again, I'm going to show all of that stuff tomorrow night at 6. But the paper pumpkin kit, the subscription period for this ends on September 10th. So if you're like me, where I love fall and this is looking pretty cute, I may want to add an extra kit to my quantity. Or say if you're not into fall and you just want to pause it for any reason, or you want to cancel any of that stuff, you have to do it by the 10th of the month of that month for that change to take effect. Because if you try to do it on September 11th, it's going to be too late because now the 11th is going to open up the subscription period for the October kit. So once it hits the 11th, I'm going to get all the sneak peeks into what exactly the rest of the kits for the rest of the year are going to be, and also the add-on dies on what they're going to look like as well. So again, September 10th is the last day to do that. And like I mentioned, the coordinating add-on dies for the July, August, and September kits. It's the Circle of Seasons dies. What's nice about these, you don't need these to complete the kits. This is if you want to just do some extra alternative type projects, and it just has some of the shapes and stuff that you would see in those particular kits. So what's nice about with this one right here, and I do have them. I showed them when I did my paper pumpkin unboxing and assemble. Like, when did I do that? Was that like on Wednesday, I think? Um, what's nice about this like does double duty, so you can do a strawberry or you can also do an acorn. So I think that's really, really cool. And then you got a little oak leaf right here. So, and a nice a script hello die cut as well. So with this, here in the US, they're $12. The item number is 167277, and you do need to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber in order to get these. These dies, they are while supplies last. When I did my video just the other night, they were not showing that they were on low inventory or anything, so they're still available. And like I mentioned before, Yeah, I didn't line this up right, did I? Because I cut half of it off. So now Stampin' Up is already talking about World Card Making Day. World Card Making Day is always the first Saturday of every October. Stampin' Up usually does like a virtual event. It's free for not just demos, but customers as well. On the website, there will be, I don't know exactly when they're gonna post it, but there will be a link to register. Now, even though it's a free event, you would need to register because they will email to you the link to go to the platform in which they're going to do this. Plus, at the end of the event, they also mentioned that everyone who attends, they are going to give like a free, I don't know what that is, but yeah, they did make mention of that. Now they did show what it is that they are going to do, and I do have a picture of it. Now, in the past, they had suggested bundles, like 3 different bundles that they were using. And then last year, they actually used the pre-printed card pack that was in the annual catalog along with the ephemera packs. And so there was really no stamping. I don't think there was any stamping to any of the projects. Now, for me personally, I mean, I I I I I like to do a little more advanced, I guess you can say. So this year it's actually going to be a card kit, and it's a pretty cool card kit. Now, this isn't available quite yet, but this is what it's going to look like. So there is a box, and then there's going to be, I actually got it printed out here. Let me see. Um, on here the details for this event. Okay, what is it saying? What is it saying? Come on. Let's see. Everyone is welcome. It'll be on Saturday, October 4th. It'll go on from 2 to 3 p.m. Mountain Time, which for here Central Time, that would be 3 to 4. The truth is, if I hold an in-person event or anything for World Card Making Day, the thing is, it's going to be a lot sooner than that. That's a little bit late in the day, to, do an event, at the same time with them. And again, it's online, it's free. Okay, the registration dates, it's going to open up on September 3rd and go until October 3rd at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. And again, it says the registration for the event is free. Um, you must register to receive a link to view the event. Also, those who register will receive a gift after the event ends. So even if you've gathered a group um, to craft together during the event, um, it's advised that they go and they register so then that way they can have the link themselves and then also receive that special registration gift, whatever that is. Um, so they're recording the live event, and then anyone who has the event link will be able to watch it at the event again after it's over. So the registration again opens up September 3rd. The last day is October 3rd at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Um, and it's on October 4th from 2 to 3 p.m. Mountain Time. And then, of course, the recorded content will be available afterwards. So, this particular kit, this will be available September 3rd. So, the same day that the new online exclusives and the holiday mini catalog goes live. This is called the Handmade and Heartfelt Kit. It includes a stamp set. There's 10 cards and envelopes, a card organizer, shaped labels, twine, glitter adhesive, embellishments, and a mini ink pad. So looking at this, looking at some of these fonts, these actually look like from past stamp sets, even like these shells from a past kit. So it looks like they just took some elements from past kits, and then this one right here, the boho vibes. This is actually going to be my live next Friday. That the last Friday of August. It's going to be with that boho vibes suite. So yeah, so that'll be available on the 3rd. Now, what does it say? There, you're going to make 10 all occasion cards. So I think, yes, I may end up doing a live. Maybe I'll do it with this kit. We'll see what happens. I don't know yet if I'll have like an in-person event. We'll see. I may have it. We'll see. So this is like all this information that I just printed out that Stampin' Up had, and what do they say? Um, and again, it's free. You just want to register, and that registration link will be on the Stampin' Up website um, on September 3rd. And it's not one of those events where you have to worry about is it going to sell out and all that, because yeah, it's something that's being done virtually. Okay, so my email that I want to make mention of now, I'm going to ask Becky, if she wants to clarify any more about it, or answer any questions that you may have. So Becky had sent me an email on Wednesday, and she is saying, she goes, I was wondering if you might know of anyone willing to donate at least 10 cards for a men's Emmaus walk. Is that how that's pronounced? A friend I know, his church is having one. They need about 100 cards, and I take it that's for pastors, table leaders, music and video leaders, and more. He needs by September 25th. So if I know anyone, um, if I know anyone, to let her know. The cards can also be mailed direct. I would suggest that, the cards could be directly mailed to her. Um, but since all of you are on here, I know that I have lots of cards. Um, Now, Becky, for this, is it specific type of cards? Like, what kind of cards are you looking for? I mean, masculine, a mix of, darn me. Oh, did you, wait. Oh, Terry, you already placed your order. What did you order? Did you order new stuff, the new stuff? Yeah, I'm just seeing Terry's comment. Everything. Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, if you saw what it looked like online, I mean, yeah, now you'll just get to see it in person. Or was it because of the 15% sale on the new in color stuff, and there were not stuff like that on your order that you wanted? I don't think it'd be a bad thing, Terry. Oh, well, you can have the fall stuff now. That's not a problem. You can have the fall stuff now. Um, but anyway, so Becky, you still here? Uh, She was here. She was here before everybody. She was here before I was. Um, with this, um, okay, pastors, table leaders, music, video leaders, and more. So, is it pretty much like masculine cards that you're looking for? Just general cards with no greetings on them? Um, can any of them be like for females? I mean, what kind of cards are you looking for? because I'm sure we got peoples on here that yeah, theme cards. I mean, do you have a little bit more about this? Birthday thinking of you, yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm asking Becky. And Becky could be typing, and that's probably why I don't see anything yet from her. But yeah, just to have a little bit more, and I'm sure, Becky will put more details in the comments. Um, and if you are on our card mailing list, if that's what I want to call it, you do have her address where you can mail them directly to her. Now, depending on, okay, my phone keeps going out. Okay. Um, yeah, if you're able to give us a little bit more on what exactly it is that you need, then I am sure that you got plenty of people here that will come up with at least 10 cards to help out. And I do have a whole lot of cards. It's just depending on what kind of cards it is that you need. Okay, so she's saying that, her phone's kind of keeps going out on her. So, yeah, I think when she has a chance that she'll comment. And Becky, if for any reason during the live you're not really able to put anything like in the live chat, you can always put something in the comment after the live is over too, okay? And then this will be that place where people will be able to see that because it's then tied to this video. Now, product updates. This is one of the things that you may or may not have heard. Stampin' Up made mention of it. I know that there's a lot of demonstrators that made mention of this. So these are updates that have to do about the cling stamps. So the cling stamps are our red rubber stamps and also the Stampin' Right markers. So these aren't the alcohol ones. Um, these are, our regular dye-based markers, which I am using one of them tonight, but yeah, it's these markers. Um, all the color collections and even the individual basic black ones, they're all affected. And as a matter of fact, you will find all those markers out on the last chance list. Now they're not discounted. They're sitting out there, and I think basically it's while supplies last. So, what they're saying about the clean red rubber stamps. So I'm just going to read what they have here, so I can just go through it and not get all tongue twisted like I've been known to get at times. So they've decided to continue their cling stamp line due to challenge. They say we currently have access to enough raw materials to continue production for the time being. The supply has become increasingly inconsistent, and certain key raw materials are no longer being manufactured. They're choosing to make this change now to ensure a smoother, more strategic transition with minimal disruption. um, they say that they will continue to offer a wide range of photopolymer stamps to support the various artistic styles and techniques. So, what's happening and when? So, the photopolymer transition is going to start with the November 2025 online exclusives. So, basically, all the new stamp sets, they're going to be in photopolymer. The last printed catalogs that will include the cling stamps will be this upcoming September through December mini catalog and our current 2025 to 2026 annual catalog. The last online exclusives to include cling stamps are what's going to be coming out in the September online exclusives. So the mini catalog cling transition. So in December of 2025, all cling stamps in the September through December 2025 mini catalog will move to the last chance products and be available while supplies last. No cling stamps from the mini catalog will carry over. The annual catalog cling transition. In April of 2026, all the cling stamps in the 2025 to 2026 annual catalog will move to the last chance products and be available while supplies last. Again, no cling stamps from the annual catalog will carry over. Online exclusives cling transition. The cling stamps released in online exclusives through September 2025 will be supported based on demand until April 2026 at the latest. Some will likely discontinue prior to April. And then the final transition in April of 2026, all remaining cling stamps across our offering will move to last chance products and be available while supplies last. I can tell you that there's a lot of people that are not happy with that because there are some people that really like the red rubber stamps over the photopolymer. Um, and that's why, those markers, yeah, I'll mention that down there. That's down there. So it says now that this is kind of like their Q&A. Let me see. Hold on. What does it say? Please note some cling stamps in the September through December 2025 mini catalog and or 2025 to 2026 annual catalog may sell through their remaining inventory prior to the December or April last chance products updates. In those cases, the products will move directly to the discontinued products list rather than appearing in last chance products. So, a question was, because this has always been a thing as to what's the reasoning behind things retiring. So the question is, what if a cling stamp is selling well? Will it then be produced in photopolymer? And they say they have no plans on transferring any cling stamps designs to photopolymer. Now, this is always a really big question too, and that's about using the Stays On ink with photopolymer stamps. Know that if you use the black Stays On with your photopolymers, you're just best using your Stampin' Scrub or your Stampin' Chamois to clean them, and know that if you use the black one, that it's going to be, you're going to have the black on there. Don't use your Stays On cleaner on it. The reason why is if you do that, you're just going to be smearing that black ink and it will stain all of the photopolymer, and then you're not going to be able to see through that stamp. Ask me how I know this, because I did do that one time and it wasn't a good decision at all. So if you again use Stays On ink, either have your chamois or your Stampin' Scrub, and as soon as you're done stamping, clean it. It'll take some of it off, but it's not going to remove all of it. But definitely don't use the cleaner on it. What I've done is, I've used it, but then I also would wash it with some warm soapy water and rinse it off and let it air dry as well. So that way I know that my photopolymer stamps are going to last. Now, background stamps. Background stamps have always been cling. Now, are we still going to have background stamps? We will, but they will then end up being in photopolymer. So that will be a little bit different. Now, the Stampin' Right markers, okay, they also decided that they're going to discontinue those. Now, again, these are the dye-based markers. They're not the alcohol Stampin' Blends. It says that with the growing popularity of the Stampin' Blends, they've seen a steady decline in sales of Stampin' Right markers. One of the primary techniques unique to Stampin' Right markers is coloring directly on the cling stamps, a technique that will become less relevant as they transition away from the cling. So what's happening when? So the phasing out of the Stampin' Right markers. So on August 20th, which that was 2 days ago, all the Stampin' Right markers had moved to the last chance products and then will be available while supplies last. Um, it says, okay, while they typically only update the last chance products during the first week of even numbered months, they're making an exception for this transition. And then a question was, will they discontinue the basic black Stampin' Right marker because that's the only marker that you can buy individually, and they are going to discontinue that one as well. They say if you are looking for a fine tip replacement, you might consider using their recently released black .04 Stampin' journaling pen. Now, I did order like 3 more of those markers in addition to the one I already have. Okay, and then the last thing is there's now going to be new and improved stamp and die packaging. So, as part of their transition away from cling stamps, they're excited to introduce updated packaging for stamps and dies. Because photopolymer stamps are thinner, they're able to offer sleeker, slimmer packaging that saves space, which that's a good thing. Saving space is always a good thing. Both the stamps and dies will now come in the same size and style of packaging, making it easier than ever to store bundles and coordinating products together. The new packaging is similar to our current die packaging, durable clear plastic envelopes, but with an exciting improvement. Die packaging will now feature printed artwork for quick and easy identification. Stamp packaging will continue to display the artwork as well. If you know me and you have seen me when I've done my stuff, I've taken the image off of the website and I've printed it out and put it in my case along with printing that out so you can see it a little bit more. But now they're going to have the artwork of the dies on the in the on the front of the packaging. So now they're saying, okay, so the new photopolymer stamps and dies and the new packaging will start with the November online exclusives. The transition for photopolymers released prior to November 2025. The photopolymer stamps released prior to November will transition to the new packaging with a rolling change. And during this time, well, us, customers, demonstrators may receive some stamps in old packaging and some in new. Transition will vary across the markets based on the inventory levels. So no transition for dies released prior to November 25. So the dies released prior to November will not transition to the new packaging. They will be sold in their existing packaging until they are discontinued. Um, let's see. Of course, and then they say no cling stamps will transition to the new packaging. Let's see. And then they say some photopolymer stamps may move to the last chance products, sell out, and discontinue prior to transitioning to the new packaging. So the new packaging, it's going to measure 5 5/8 by 9. So I'm thinking that's give or take about the same size as this. The stamps and dies will now come in the same size and style of packaging, making it easier to store bundles and coordinating products together. The packaging is clear with an insert that displays stamp or die artwork for quick and easy identification. Yes, both stamp and die packaging will now show artwork. Larger packaging dimensions allows them to showcase more stamp artwork at 100% on the insert. Sleek, slim design will help you store more in less space. The envelope closure includes a tuck-in flap for quick and easy opening. So it's going to change where It's like this. It's just going to be the flap, and the whole thing is going to just like go right into that slit rather than having that little piece. Um, I do have a picture of it, so there's a larger picture. Hold on. So this is what it's going to look like. And here's my observation. It's great that it's going to take up less space. However, our stamp sets right now, being that they're in, these cases, what's nice is when you have it on the shelf, you're able to see the name of it and then see like the artwork of the stamps in it. With this packaging, you're not going to have that. So now it's going to be like if you end up with a whole bunch of like these sets, then it's going to be like, okay, now you've got to kind of fumble through them to find which one that you want. Now, they will be selling, um, they did say that that they will still be carrying. So the empty cases that they sell, these DVD cases, they will be continuing to sell those. They're not going to do away with them. And they will also be offering those these things, these plastic folders for $16 here in the US and 22 in Canada. It's going to be a 10 pack, and that will be available, and that'll be part of the November online exclusive. So for demonstrators, they'll be able to pre-order it on October 1st. I will tell you, I will not be buying these envelopes to convert all the stamp sets I have to them. That ain't happening. There's too many, too many. Questions were like, will the bundled stamps and dies come in the same package? No, they won't. They will be separate. Will embossing folders come in new packaging? Nope, they're going to be the same. The same thing with the hybrid embossing folders. That's going to be the same way. Um, you'll be able to still get those standard stamp cases. You'll be able to order those little the envelopes. Um, So that says, we'll Stampin' Up, let us know when the transition to the new packaging is complete. And they said, because the transition will vary by product and by market depending on inventory levels, there won't be no formal announcement made on that. So I don't know, how do you guys feel about that? How do you feel about that? The stamp sets are now going to be in those envelopes, and you're not going to be able to really see what the artwork or what the stamp set is, um, unless you actually literally pull it out. The one thing I will tell you that if you're familiar with it, this almost seems like this is like a close to my heart thing, because way back when, way back when, I actually did purchase close to my heart stuff. And the one thing that I noticed with that, they were selling like stamps and dies, but they were selling them together. It didn't look like you had the option to buy them separately, and they came in those envelopes. So see that they kind of changed that. The 12 by 12 cardstock, the solid colored cardstock that we sold, that went away and was replaced by two-tone cardstock. So I don't know what to say about the packaging. I don't know if I really like the idea of the stamps going into those things, only because, yes, storing them, it's going to be better because it's going to take up like less space. However, when it comes to finding what you want, you're going to have to fumble through everything to try and find it, unless you change up your storage and you put them, like, say in bins or whatever, instead of putting them on a bookshelf like I do with the other ones. So, I mean, how do you guys feel about that? And I guess even with the fact that the cling stamps are going away. The stamp and write markers are going away. Excuse me. Hi, Cynthia. Welcome back. You should be getting your card any day. I did get it out in the mail. I think, what was that on, was that Thursday? I think. Um, yeah, yeah. But you know, the thing is, Terry, Evernote, that's good for like doing an inventory of what you got. I actually just have a Excel spreadsheet. Before I knew about any of those things, I just have a spreadsheet that I add stuff to. I even have one separate that has all of the stamp greeting. So if I need a specific greeting for anything, all I have to do is go to that spreadsheet, do a control find on a particular word, and it'll show me all the stamp sets I have that has it in there. Um, yeah, Cynthia, Terry, oh, you weren't here last Friday. So Cynthia joined us for the first time last Friday. Um, it's up to Cynthia if she wants to. So Cynthia, um, we started this like a couple of months ago, where each other wanted to send birthday cards and stuff. So I have a spreadsheet created and it's shared with everybody that wants to partake in this. So everybody knows what everybody's address is. And we also include like when our birthdays are. So then that way we can get some happy mail in the mail. So if you're interested in that, um, send, you have my email now. Just send me, and I got your address, but also include your birthday, and I can add you to the list if you want, and then I will send it out to everyone, and then you will also have everyone's address as well. So it's pretty much the people that join me here every Friday. Okay, so Cynthia, if you could at some point send me an email with your birthday because I got your address already. Just you don't need to include the year, just the month and the day, and then I'll add you to that spreadsheet, and then I will email it out to all of you. Okay. All right. So another thing that I will mention too. Oh yeah. So I had another printout I saw of that. Yeah. So yeah, that was that kit. Let me get that out of the way. We don't need that anymore. All right. One of the other things too, want to make mention, as I've said in the past, for every Friday live that I do, or kind of live, meaning it's pre-recorded, I do create a free PDF. It'll have like the list of all the supplies. There will be pictures of the cards and some dimensions and everything. Instruction as far as like if there's any coloring, what color of blends or markers that I have used. And what's also really nice is that this little link right up here, if you click on that, that's going to take you back to this particular video. So there's quite a few of them that are sitting out there. So if you look in the description, that little paragraph that's right above the list of supplies, that's the link to to my Google Drive, and that is where you will, that's where you'll find all of these PDFs. So the one that we're using tonight, that is already out there. I did get that out there this morning. The other thing too is our catalog. So there's our current annual. Here's our mini holiday one, which I cannot open it. And then here's just like the cover of the September online exclusives. So if you are here in the US, if you are not working with another demonstrator and you would like a copy of whether it's the mini catalog or maybe even the annual catalog, just send me an email. I do have the email address pinned to that comment up at the top, plus it's also in the description. Just send me an email with your full name and mailing address, and I'll be sure to get them out to you. And also, like I mentioned earlier, tomorrow, Saturday, the 23rd at 6 p.m. Central, I will be going live again. And I am going to show the pre-order that I got between the new Holiday Mini and the online exclusive. So there, I will say that there is quite a bit, and I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to show you all the designs of the designer series paper, the ribbon, the embellishments. I have packaged all of my paper in the Ziploc bags and all that. So to make it nice and easy to show you everything. So I'll be doing that tomorrow at 6 p.m. Whether I'm going to be standing to do it or sitting, we'll see how that happens. I want to see if I can set this phone stand up to my crafting desk, then we'll do it that way. All right. So, with all of that, now that I've spoke all and said all that, and now we're an hour in, why are you going fuzzy on me? I'm looking at the screen. I saw it all go fuzzy. So tonight we are using turtle-ycute sweet. Now, this was one of those sweets I didn't know really what to think because I don't know. The turtles looked a little funny to me, in a way. So I don't know. I mean, what do you guys? What was your first thought about this suite? So the cards that I'm doing, the first two are super easy and quick. I've done most of the pre-work on it, so they're going to go together fairly quick. But what's included with this suite? So let me kind of pull this stuff out. So first we have the turtle-ycute designer series paper. So there's a lot. There's like 2 sheets of each pattern. And a lot of these turtles that are on these sheets, there's very few that there's 2 different turtle dyes that will die cut them. But for the most part, the rest of them you have to fussy cut. There's also 2 sheets that have these blocks of scenes that you can just cut the designer series paper and they become card front panels. And that's what I've done with the first 2. And then I did have to fussy cut the turtles that I used in it, which I've done all that in advance because yeah, we're not doing that on here. The colors in this paper: Balmy Blue, Basic Black, Cajun Craze, Cherry Cobbler, Crumb Cake, Crushed Curry, Daffodil Delight, Darling Duckling, Early Espresso, Flirty Flamingo, Garden Green, Granny Apple Green, Gray Granite, Pecan Pie, Petal Pink, and I think there's a color missing off of this because there is definitely Poppy Parade in the prints, and they don't have it listed here. It looks like they stopped at Petal Pink, but there is definitely Poppy Parade in there. I don't know what else may be missing out of that. So in addition, there is the turtle-yawesome photopolymer stamp set and then the coordinating dies. Um, Lots of little images here. So like I said, I did stamp some of these. I die cut them already. We'll be coloring them in. I love the little music notes and the little microphone. And then on the dies, you have the dies to die cut that. Plus, there's some detail dies you can put together a banjo. You got a little chef's hat, just a little shade type hat as well, and an apron and a little watering can. So a lot of dies in there to kind of build your turtles and die cut the ones that you have stamped. Then there is the Turtle Textures embossing folder. This is just a regular embossing folder. It's not a 3D, so you would use in your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it would be your base plate and then the 2 cutting plates. So that's the pattern. I have used this on my last card. When there's a suite, I try to use everything in the suite on my cards. In addition, there's the shaded spruce and soft sea foam. What is this? This is bordered ribbon. So on one side of the ribbon, you have the shaded spruce, and then the stitching on the edges of it is the soft sea foam. And then when you flip it over, it's the soft sea foam with the shaded spruce edging on that. So this ribbon, it is, what is this? It's a half in, excuse me, it's a ½ inch wide. So for the cards that I did to make a bow, it would be a little bit big and bulky, but I did manage to find use of this ribbon inside my last card. And then finally, there's the shades of green hexagons. What's nice about these are not sequins. They're not too high as far as how thick they are on your cards. They are hard plastic, and you have two different sizes. You have soft sea foam, granny apple green, pool party, and shaded spruce. So very cool. When I first saw these, I'm like, ooh, those are very pretty. And I'm not really a green person, but I thought these were really pretty. So this is everything that's in the suite. So let me bring in, let's see how I'm doing this. Oh wow, they decided that they're going to vacuum their floor right above me now. Ah, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Okay, so here's the pieces. So basically the pieces for this card and the second card, they're the same. It's just a little, they just look a little bit different. So for my card base here, I have a piece of basic white thick that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. Like I mentioned, there's two sheets in the pack where you have these scenes that you can cut out. Now the size of the panel for this is 4 by 6. So where it's perfect from top and bottom on here, it was a little too long. So I did trim this down, you know, evenly on each side. So then that way it would measure 5.25 by 4. Then also on that paper, there was this strip that had all these music notes, so I cut that out. Out of a scrap piece of basic white, I die cut this label. This label comes from the Stylish Shapes dies. And then out of the paper, there's two sheets that have kind of like the musical turtles on it. So I fussy cut each one of these out in advance. So let's put together this very super easy quick card. So um, since I did that, there is a little bit of stamping that I'm doing, and the stamping is going to be on the inside. So let me go ahead and burnish that. And then I'm going to take my panel here and my seal, and that's the back of that panel. So cutting up those sheets, and yet you got these really cool polka dots on it. And as an FYI, this designer series paper is part of that in color sale. There is some of the new in colors in here, like Darling Duckling. And so, yeah, the paper is on sale at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to center this on my card base like so. There's our stage. Okay, now before I put, I'm going to pop like my turtles on the top of this, but before I do that, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping for the inside of my card. So let me get my stamps. And for this one, because it's the music themed one, I'm going to pull out this little stamp that's got the music notes and the microphone. And at the same time, I also want to pull out the greeting that says, "Here for you always." So where's "Here for you always"? And then we want the little microphone. And where's the music notes? Okay, put that right there. And I got all my blocks now to my right. So we're going to see how this setup is. I just basically, you know, I felt like, okay, let me just kind of wipe down my desk here and get some new grid paper. And I thought, you know what, let me try seeing how this will work, you know, by just kind of switching things to the opposite side. So my laptop is over here rather than over there. So what do I need? I need my Stampin' Pierce mat, since these are photopolymer stamps. And the ink that I'm using for this is my Tuxedo black ink. And again, like I've mentioned, this isn't the original packaging that it comes in. It comes in a foam pad, not a foam pad, a felt pad. And I just took one of the uninked white, the craft white ink pads, and I used my re-inker and I just inked it up in that. And I find that it stamps a lot better on the foam than it does on the felt. You get a little bit of a darker black. So I'm going to take my music notes and I'm going to stamp them right next to each other. I'm going to stamp it 3 times on the left. And then I'm going to do it again coming from the right. Hopefully you're not hearing that vacuum cleaner up there. Okay, and then the microphone. I'm going to stamp 2 of those. And I'm going to have one go that way. One go that way. And then we'll put that aside. And then my label here, I'm going to stamp my greeting in Poppy Parade. Elvis Turtle. Yeah, I would have to bring out a black, well, he's playing a banjo. Yeah, you would have to add like some black hair to him and some sideburns. Okay. Good idea though, Terry. A girl after my own heart. Hold on, I just stuck my finger in that ink. Never fails. All right. And this just fits right in there. That's the one advantage though, the photopolymer, is that you can see directly through. You know, to stamp it like perfectly straight, hopefully. Okay, so that is all the stamping that I'm doing. Let me move this out of the way. And then, let me see. Actually, what I will do to kind of minimize the staining. I mean, when you use reds and pinks, your photopolymer stamps are going to stain a little bit. But if you get it right away, you're able to kind of keep that staining to a minimal. I mean, as long as your stamp is clean, it's, even though it's stained a little bit, it'll still stamp well. And like I mentioned, if I were to stamp this using StazOn, just know that it would be black. You're not going to get the StazOn ink off of that. All right, so now let me bring in my card base. I'm going to bring in my seal and I'm going to add some to this strip. So we're adding a lot of decoration into the center, inside the card. Okay, so sticking down before I'm ready for it. So I'm going to put this down here in the center. They're right over my head with that vacuum. And then the funny thing is I usually don't hear them use the vacuum at all, so that's why I find it kind of funny that they decide to wait to do it now. And considering they just vacuumed like two nights ago. And then we'll take this and we'll stick this right into the center. And then earlier I showed you one of the Stampin' Right markers. So this is the gray granite. Now on here, usually, you know, I would color images using the Stampin' Blend, but because we stamp directly on the card base, if you were to use your alcohol marker, it is going to come through the back. Now, if you're kind of light with your coloring, with your marker, you shouldn't have It shouldn't really show in the back. So I'm just going I'm using the brush tip and I'm just going really, really light with it. I wonder what they're going to do with their stamp pad and marker organizer, because right now the ink pads and then there's a little slot to put these markers in. Now that they're doing away with these, I wonder what if they're going to be changing that up any. So there's the inside of our card. So we got some fun in there. Now let me burnish this again. And then I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. And let's see. We may need a few little ones here. And we're going to add dimensionals to the backs. You're a professional? Mm-hmm. You make amazing cards, Terry. All right, so let me kind of figure out how I'm going to put these on here. What I did when I made the sample cards, I had, you know how when you get done with your hexagon dimensionals, you still got the edging. So I used a lot of the edging pieces. Oops, come on. Okay. You knew that if there's going to be a music scene and music turtles, you know that I was going to use them. Definitely do a card with the music. But then there's also one with a beach scene, and you know me, I like, you know, beachy stuff, so had to do that one too. And then I had to think, okay, well now you got to make a card using all the rest of the product too. So, all right, now let me bring in my little ones here on his legs. Yeah, let's see, we're good on that one. And we'll put one right there. Okay. So now we're going to place these guys. So we're going to take the one with the banjo and we're going to kind of put him towards the back and in the middle. Okay, so we're going to take him and we're going to place him right about there. So, and then the one with the trumpet will go to his left. Oh. Oh, Vaughn hasn't come back yet. Yeah. As an FYI, um, yeah, please don't think that Terry's being harsh to Vaughn. You got to know that the two of them have been friends for a very, very long time. So yeah, it's all in fun. Okay, and then we'll place him over here. That's actually how I met Terry. I met her, no, Carol, nope. She wouldn't have fallen asleep. You see was it, I think Don, she said that Don had made dinner, so now they're sitting there in the living room, probably watching TV and having dinner. And she did this one time where she said she was going to go have dinner and she'd be right back. And she just got so involved in watching TV, she completely forgot to come back. And I told her, it's like, how can you be my assistant if you end up forgetting? Yeah, she loves you. I love you too. It was because of Yvonne that I know Terry. I got to meet Terry in person, this, what do you call it, last year and the year before. So she my kind of people. Okay, so now we got those characters on there. Now we're just going to bring in these embellishments, and then for this one, I'm going to use the soft seafoam ones because I'm going to kind of put them in this lighted background. So let me I take your pick tool. And again, there's two different sizes in here. You got your large and your small, and you can see right through these things too. So wherever you put it, that design from the paper or whatever you're gonna see right through it. So that's pretty cool. I like the embellishments like that. So let's get two of these. And when I mail these, I may still need to go and use a postcard. Yeah, when you guys get the cards and the postcards I put in there are actually those invite postcards for, Stampin' Up events. Yeah, I'm not trying to get you to like it's not an invitation. I just like to use them to put on tops of my cards. So like when you got embellishments like this, they don't poke through the envelope when they go through the postal machine. So, yeah, I had all those postcards when I got my starter kit, and I'm like, okay, what do I do with them? And that's the use that I found for them, to just lay them. If you have any embellishments like rhinestones, anything that kind of sticks up a bit, you want to put something over it when you put in the envelope, so then that way when it runs through the machine, these won't end up tearing and going through the envelope. Okay, so there is our first turtle-ycute card. So again, basically really use the designer series paper in here and cut out. Unfortunately you have to fussy cut them because there's no dies. And then we even did some decoration on the inside as well. Okay, so there is card number 1. Now let me get everything for card number 2. And this one will go just as quick as that other one because again, this one's going to be another one of the scene cards. The only thing that's different about this one is that I did cut out a few more items for this one. And again, I don't know what I was thinking because remember, if I was cutting things out, I was doing double cutting because I was doing the Stample card and this card as well. Okay, so the card base is the same, basic white thick, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. What did I miss? Oh wow, Froggy's on it. She already got Carol's card done. Carol, your birthday, that's September, right? Because the next birthday on the list is Sharon. She's on, I believe it's the 28th of this month. So that's a little heads up. Sharon's birthday's coming up. Okay. So for that designer series paper, this is the panel again that has the beach scene. It's the same size, 4 by 6. So I did evenly trim. Well, I trimmed a large. Well, no, I trimmed a smaller amount on this side and then a little bit more on this side. So then that way it measures 5.25 by 4. And then also on that sheet, then there's this striped pattern. You have some white and you have the poppy parade. And then you have some of this darling duckling that just kind of mimics the color of the sand. And then, let's see, then I not die cut, I fussy cut these turtles. I just thought that that was just like hilarious. And then in addition, there is the beach ball. There's that cute little crab. And then there is a sand castle. And then for my greeting for the inside, I'm basically doing the inside the same way that I did the other card, just using a different image and different greeting. Hold on, I got this little piece of cardstock, and then out of a scrap piece of basic white, I have die cut that out of the More Messages die. Now, since I've had this bundle, I will tell you, I have used this die a lot. So what I did is I cut out a couple of sheets, you know, big enough for this to fit on. And I die cut a bunch of white labels, and I did, what was it, when I did my live last Friday, I have basic beige, there's some pretty in pink, there's some pool party. So I just have a little baggie where I put all those little die cuts in there, and then when I need, you know, like a tag or something to put a greeting on, I'll go into this bag and see what I have that it'll fit. So if you die cut a bunch in advance, then you have them, and it's going to work great with the photopolymer stamps since you can see right through it. Now there is a stamp set that has all the greetings in it that you can line this die right up on it, and then you can die cut a whole bunch of your labels with greetings already on it. So I have that little piece there. So now let's move all these little things off of here. And let's fold and burnish. Where is it? Yep. Tracy and Carol share the same day. All right. Let's see. What do I want? I want my adhesive. And we'll put this down. If you know me, I like everything nautical, so of course I had to do one with the beach scene. And besides, I mean, how funny are these turtles? I mean, I love it. I don't know who walks around the beach with a towel on their head. I mean, you would think that she was just getting out of the shower. Well, no, or he was getting out, I don't know, she getting out of the shower, but then they got a drink in their hand. So I don't know anybody that would take a drink into the shower with them. At least I don't. Okay, so now I'm going to do I will do the inside first. So for this one, let me get my stamp set. So for this one, you have these cute little birds right here. So I am going to pull that out. And then I want the greeting that says, "It's okay to take it slow." Where's my little birds? Right there. Now let me take these and put these where they go really quick. Thing is, there's a lot of small stamps in here that you can easily lose. I mean, if you're like on a roll, you can always stick them inside the cover and then put them back in place, kind of like that. And then in the end, I'll just put them back where they belong. All right, so let me get my piercing mat here, and then put my birds on a block, and then my greeting. And let's see, what else do I need? We got our little greeting there. So the birds, I'm going to stamp those in black as well. This label that I printed out, it gets caught. So sometimes I can't get that closed all the way. I'm going to have to redo that that label that I have on the front of the case. So my birds, I'm going to stamp one over in this corner and another one over here. And then we're going to color these in to look like seagulls. So I'm going to bring in that gray granite marker again. Actually, I'm going to let that sit there for a minute to dry before I color it. I'm going to stamp my greeting here, and I'm going to do that in Shaded Spruce ink. Oh my gosh, Tracy. You know, I've always like, wait, what was it you said that some of the dyes, when trying to figure out some of the turtle dyes, I said some of them look like G-strings. That's funny. That's funny. You see, I'm not the only one that has the mind that could end up going south. See, you people, you're my tribe. You're my tribe. Okay, so this greeting just fits in this little tag. Okay, so we'll set that aside. And again, stuck my finger in the ink pad. Okay, let's move this out of the way. And then I'm going to bring in my marker and I'm going to color these guys in to kind of look like seagulls. So I'm going to kind of just, so I'm not coloring the whole thing in. And again, I'm just giving it kind of like a light touch. And let's see. Okay, and then do the same thing over here. Maybe I should try using the brush tip. And this one. Okay. So you can see that it really doesn't go through. Now, if I had used the alcohol markers, it definitely would have bled through. So that's why I opted. Now, you can't get this one individually. The gray granite is part of the neutrals collection. So you get a whole pack of 10 that have one of each of the colors that are in that collection. Okay, so then this little strip here, I'm going to do the same exact thing that I did with the other one. Take this and I'm going to stick this down in the middle here on the inside of the card. Like so. And then on the greeting piece, I can get it picked up. Add some adhesive to the back of this. And I'm going to stick this right here. Okay, so there's the inside of our card. Now I'm going to take my bone folder and I'll burnish this again so it lays flat. Okay, then let's bring in all these images because every one of these, they're going to get popped up. All right, dimensionals. I don't know if that'll fit right there or not. Let's see, will I get that in there? I don't know. I'll use a little one in there. Okay, I don't know. Will one fit on him? I think. Yep, just fits. All right, now let me get my little ones here. Put one there. Trying to do this to where I don't have pieces that can easily lift up, like when you're putting it in and out of a envelope. So I'm trying to keep like all the pieces kind of like stuck down to the card. All right, so now let's see. For my sandcastle, I think I'm going to have to bring in a couple of little pieces. And I know I have some edging pieces here. Let's see, they're kind of small. Okay, and this one over here. Okay. Now to assemble. All right, so my ball. All right, let's take this. If you have well, depending on how long you have, if you follow Dina Rico, let me tell you, there are at least 2 videos that she done that, or 2 lives that she had done, that it was so bad that, I mean, you were crying because you were laughing so hard. And let's just say there was a whole lot of like, that's what she said moments. And one of them was, if you remember that at one point Stampin' Up! Sold these like whole kits where you had like paper stamps, the dies. There were no instructions, but it wasn't. It was a product medley, so there weren't instructions on making cards. You just took the product and you created with it. And one of those kits was, I think it was called Flowering Cactus, I think. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Talk about hysterical. Some of the greetings in that stamp set, I'm like, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I should say it on here, but I am the type that, you become very observant to things. And one of the things, some people go, it's like, they kind of curse me because it's like, that's not what was in their mind. But by the time after I got done telling them, yeah, they weren't happy with me, but they still love me. Um, a big example, I'm going to do it to you guys now. That Amazon logo, do I need to say any more? Do I need to say any more what that looks like? I've been told, yeah, it looks like it's just a big smile. And I'm like, yeah, go and look at it again. And then they'll realize it and they'll be like, dang you. Oh my gosh. Look like a pickle, dickle. It was hilarious. This was ooh, when did that come out? Was that maybe like 3 years ago or something? All I know is, my gosh, it was hysterical. And then another time she had done this, it was the bundle that had the punch that had like the cake plate and the cake itself. And so the card that she did, it was she did watercolor. That was back at the time when we had those color sprinkles. Is that what the pigment sprinkles? And so she did like a watercoloring thing, and she had used like the red ones. Yeah, she took her heat tool to dry it. um yeah. uh that what it looked like when it dried, yeah, I ain't gonna repeat that here. I mean, she did cover it up with the punch out of the cake, but it was, yeah, that one was a good one. And it's funny because I remember that one because it was, she was showing cards that she got in the mail, and the last card that she showed before she did that card was the card that I sent to her when she hit her first million. Has she hit the second? Yeah, she hit the second when she first hit her first 1 million in sales. Yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna forget that one. Okay, that one was funny too. All right, so on this one, I'm gonna use the pool party ones. I mean, come on, you gotta laugh. I like I've said, if I don't laugh, then I'll be crying. So it's better that I laugh. And if I end up crying as a result of laughing so hard, then that's even better. Yes, yes, Cynthia, it's been a while. Both of those videos, it's been a while. I can't tell you exactly like what year. I know that one with the watercoloring one, that was back at the time when she hit her just after she hit her 1 million in career sales. And then the other one was when that, I think it's called Flowering Cactus, that product medley, whenever that was out. Yeah, it's went around that time. I just know that it's been a couple of years. So yes, it's definitely funny. And I will suggest, if you find it, make sure that you're not drinking something at the same time you're watching it, because you may spit it out all over either your keyboard or all over something, because it's that funny. All right, there is the second card. So a lot more fussy cutting of the images, but I just think it's a really fun card. And again, we did do some decoration on the inside. I'm doing better on actually putting something on the inside. And I thought this is just really cool to really utilize that paper. And yeah, so the third card that I'm doing something also a little bit different on the inside of this one as well. Usually I don't put ribbon on the inside of a card, but I needed to use it somehow, so. All right, so lots of green in this one. This is the one that's going to take a little bit because there is going to be coloring involved. So let me bring in some scrap paper, because I am going to be using Stampin' Blends. And let's see, let me get my page. And again, like I said, the PDFs have the picture of the cards, and then with the cardstock and the paper, there's going to be dimensions, and then stuff that's colored I did list out, like all the Stampin' Blends that I used, and of course like the embellishments. And again, if this is something that you want to, you can download it for free. And then of course where it says Friday Night Live 8/22/25, when you click on that, it's going to bring you back to this video. So if there's a part that you're kind of confused on, you can come right back to the video and you can watch it. And again, the link for this to my Google Drive, it's in that little paragraph just above the list of supplies, and this one is already out there. Okay, so on this one, my card base is Garden Green, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. For the inside of my card, I have a piece of basic white, 5.25 by 4. I have a piece of Darling Duckling, that's 5 by 3 3/4. And then this is the Granny Apple Green two-tone cardstock. One of the things that I do like to do with this, now what I did when they had the sale on the two-tone cardstock, what I did, because I got like the assortment packs, the thing is they do sell individual colors. So what I did was I literally last weekend I had literally taken all those packets and I just took one of the backings of the paper and I wrote like what color collection it was. So I did one for all the in colors, the subtles, the regals, the neutrals, and the brights. And then I just took all of the colors and I put them in one pack. And then I even did one for the basics. So that will be like, well, it's willow white, not basic white, and the black and the basic beige and very vanilla. So I kind of did it this way. So then that way, if there was a particular color that I wanted, then I would know where to find it. Now, the one thing I will say that when I did my pre-order, there is scrapbooking kits that are in the holiday mini. I didn't get those, but I did get the two-tone cardstock, and the thing is, I wasn't thinking, and I ended up including that two-tone in with all of that. So as I explained, show things that I done, what I got tomorrow night. Yeah, I'll kind of like explain that. I can't show pages in the catalog, but I can kind of describe it or whatever. Okay, but what I did with this Granny Apple Green, so I took the darker side, had that up. Now be careful when you're doing it because I can kind of tell that it's very, I can probably see daylight through this. So you got to be a little careful because you can see that this is white core, so the one side is dark, the other side's light. Now the thing with the two-tone cardstock, this is definitely not as heavyweight as the regular cardstock is. This is somewhere in between the cardstock and the designer series paper. So what's nice about it, yeah, they got the color printed on either side, one that's lighter, one that's darker. I will tell you that when I bought the two-tone cardstocks, I was getting them in the combo packs. And I will tell you that there are a couple of colors that the shading of it looks a little bit different. It's not really consistent, and it's probably just kind of like the dye lot in the paint or whatever that they use to add the color to the paper. But I did notice that there were a couple of colors that were just off a little bit. So I just wanted to make mention of that since, I didn't know that would have been the case. I thought it would have all stayed the same, but evidently not. Then I have a piece of Balmy Blue. This is 2 3/4 by 3/4. And then all these pieces that I have stamped and die cut. So the two different turtles, all of these are stamped in the Memento Black. Now the one cool thing about these turtles, when you die cut, it actually die cuts the arm. So then you can lift that and you can actually tuck like something like under its arm, which is pretty cool. So this turtle has it, and then this one has it right over here as well. So kind of cool the way they did the dies. And then I have a birthday cake, and then there is a balloon. And then I only need like two of the party hats, but I did die cut a few, stamp and die cut a few more just in case, because coloring these things in with the blends, you really, really have to take a light touch to it because the ink will bleed. And yeah, when I'm doing that in Poppy Parade and Balmy Blue, it's like the red got into the Balmy Blue dots, and I could change it up to where I do the base of the um of the party hat in Balmy blue and then do the dots in red. I could do that. Maybe I'll do that on this one. All right. So what do we want to do here? Let's kind of move those out of the way for a second. And we'll kind of take this stuff and we'll kind of get this together. So I'm going to fold and burnish. What happened? Oh, there was a mishap. Look at, she's all, OMG, I'm back. That tells me that you forgot. You realized, oh no, I need to get back on there. Okay. Yvonne, so is Yvonne going to tell us what that mishap is? Is she going to admit to what the mishap was? Now inquiring minds want to know, woman. All right. So for the inside of my card, this basic white piece here, I am going to stamp my greeting in, what did I use? I'm going to use Poppy Parade. And I am going to stamp, as soon as I kind of get my thing here, I'm going to stamp, there's one greeting in there that says sweet friend. So I needed to kind of figure out what can I do for the inside of this card, since the other two had so much to it. So I'm going to use this little sweet friend one. And don't need my birds anymore. But I will be needing some of these other, well, no, I don't need the other stamps. I already stamped them. Where's Sweet Friend? Sweet Friend. Okay, we need a block. And I like Poppy Parade. It's a really bright, a nice bright red. I will say that out of all the reds, I mean, I'm not really a red person, but I would say that my favorite red is Cherry Cobbler. All right, so I'm going to stamp Sweet Friend right in the middle there. And then, let me quickly clean that, just to minimize that red staining from the ink. Okay, and we can do this really quick. And then get all these blocks out of the way. I don't know about you, but my workspace area tends to get cluttered up very quickly, and I don't know, are you the type that can create in chaos, or do you need it tidy, or you start to feel a little overwhelmed? I get a little overwhelmed when it's too cluttered. Okay, so I have my snips that are dedicated for cutting ribbon. Where's my ribbon? So we're going to use this ribbon, and we're going to use it on the inside of the card. So I'm going to take this, because when it came to the design of the card, when I looked at the width of this, it would have just been too big and bulky for the top of my card. And there's a lot going on the front of this card to begin with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my seal, and I'm going to come across the bottom about here, just go straight across. And of course I didn't want to get any on my grid paper, but I can get that off easily enough and make sure that that's there. And then I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to go right across. There's that adhesive. I'm going to go right across just like so. So I'm using the ribbon, using everything that's in the suite, just adding it on the inside rather than the outside as a bow. So I will take my snips and I will trim. Instead of wrapping it around, I'm going to just snip it like so. Uh-oh. Ooh. Okay, did Don do it or did you do it, Yvonne, and you're blaming him? Yeah, I would say that if you end up spilling soda on the floor, yes, that's gonna be sticky. And you'll know if you missed any spots if you walk around and all of a sudden you're sticking to the floor. So that's what the inside's gonna look like. So I just put the ribbon right there on the inside. So utilize the ribbon, and then I'll take this and adhere this inside of my card. Ugh. All right. Well, so if you were here with me last Friday, and I don't know if I said anything while I was live, maybe I did, I don't know. So when Yvonne was here, I'm standing back here. Now the apartment is a 3-bedroom apartment, but so it's fairly big, but I can still hear what's going on in the kitchen. And she was doing a lot of cutting, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is she cutting? Now, I always kind of like give her a little bit of grief because not that there's anything wrong with salad, okay? I love salad and I like variety in my salad, but Yvonne adds a lot of stuff into the salad like cauliflower, broccoli, mushrooms, black olives, carrots, and different varieties of maybe 2 different varieties of lettuce and spinach. When she makes it, the biggest bowl that I got is overflowing, and I would say to her, how are you going to mix that up? And she makes enough salad that you're eating, you can't eat anything other than salad because you don't want the salad to go bad. So I kind of banned her from making big salads like that for a while. He did it? Uh-huh. Okay. Is he gonna say something different, Yvonne? I'm playing with you, girl. You know that. You know that. All right. So now I'm gonna take this piece that I embossed, and I have a sanding block. So there is a link for sanding blocks in the description. These came from Amazon. These particular ones, they came from Terry. I didn't know that she ordered them, and they showed up on my doorstep. Um, oh yeah, and yeah, I missed some stuff, but yeah, there was a lot of stuff in the salad. So these came in a 4-pack, and they come with different grits. So I'm going to carefully, since it's kind of thin there, and I'm just going to go across. You don't want to do this because it may catch, and then you probably will end up pinking your paper. And I'm just going to sand it in some spots. So those areas that's raised, it's going to take some of that color off. So again, the two-tone cardstock, it's white core, and then the colors are actually printed on the paper. So the dark side is what closely matches the actual 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and then the other side is just going to be a lighter tone of that color. So I'm not going to do this to where you see like just absolute white. I'm just going to do some spots, so then that way you do see some of that some of that design. And then what I do is, there's another thing that I got off of Amazon. So I was looking for refills for the lint rollers, and I came across this. So this has like this silicone cover on it, and what's nice about this is that, I mean, it's really sticky, so it's gonna really pick up stuff. And what's really nice about this thing is that once it's got like, you know, stuff all over it, and see, I'm going to like gently remove the excess off of the top of that. And then I can clean up my surface, because even though when you sand it, it's still leaving a little bit of, it's like the color stains a little bit. And then what's nice with this, all I have to do is take this off, remove these two ends, and then rinse it off, let it dry, and then it's good to go again. Now I don't have that listed in the description with the non-Stampin' Up supplies, but yeah, if you just look up like silicone lint roller, you'll find them. Now that particular one, when I got it, it also came with two travel ones as well. Let's see. Okay, what did I miss? Um, Froggy said to Yvonne, just me, but I think Carla did it for everyone else's sake. I don't know how close you two are, so some context is helpful for me. Ooh, what am I missing? Oh, I'm sorry. That was probably too loud. I apologize. Yvonne, see, she didn't tell me this. I am on a new phone. I am not used to the buttons yet. I'm slow. Oh, she definitely just got that because last weekend when she was here, she still had the other one. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if Yvonne answered that or not, but yeah, she was long overdue for another phone. Did Don get another one too, Yvonne? Because I think you were also saying that he was overdue for a new one too. Cool. Awesome. You still got that same ringtone for your alarm? She's got this one that every time it goes off, every time it's like, Yvonne, change it. Because it's like she keeps hitting snooze. Okay, let's get back to this card. Okay, so I'm going to add some adhesive onto my darling duckling piece. Vaughn, when you get the chance and you watch the beginning, I guess maybe it's good that you weren't here, that you're not here this weekend, because I think I told you that they were going to redo the asphalt. Yeah, well, I got to get up before 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and I got to move my car because they're doing the section over here by my building. So I don't know where I'm parking the car. I mean, I was going to go out tomorrow, but I wasn't looking to go out that early. But yeah, so that's happening here tomorrow. Okay. What kind of phone is it? All right, so for this, I'm going to be very light-handed with this because since embossing this is kind of thin. And if you get a little too aggressive with it, you will tear the paper. And since running it through that embossing folder, it did break down. See, I almost caught it right there. Kind of broke down the fibers a little bit in this paper, so it's a little bit thinner. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought they were going to redo that sidewalk a while back, but they evidently didn't. Hopefully, whoever paints the lines paints them straight. They don't allow like a drunk or high person to do it. Just saying, because whoever did it before, whew, that's bad. All right, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to put this down kind of like in the middle. And it's kind of hard to do that when you got that darling duckling piece at an angle. All right, so now we're going to take this. We're going to set it aside. Let me get this piece here because we do need to stamp. I stand corrected. I did need to stamp. I'm going to bring in shaded spruce. And then this one is going to say, hope your birthday is turtly awesome. And let me get my block. And the one thing I noticed that this Stampin' Scrub that I got, it's fairly new, that the fibers end up coming out. So I got to make sure that it's not stuck on my stamp or it's not going to stamp right. Okay. Let me see. Cool, Becky. Oh, so Yvonne, since you were late coming on, when I did my announcements at the very beginning, Becky has a request for cards. I don't know if she said any more about it or if she's going to wait until afterwards to put a little more detail in it. So it's a request for like 10 cards that would go. Oh, I don't have it. It's like a church related event. So she's going to give a little more detail about that. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this right in the middle, like so, and we'll set that aside. Ooh, this video is going to go long. All right. Now, my scrap paper. Let's bring in all these pieces. Okay, and then for my coloring, I got a bunch of Stampin' Blank colors here. So I have both the light and the dark shaded spruce, the light and the dark pool party. I have, this is the dark poppy parade, dark balmy blue, the light and dark granny apple green, light and dark darling duckling, and then we have dark flirty flamingo and the light pecan pie. All right, so I'm going to kind of do these two turtles kind of like at the same time since the coloring is going to kind of be the same on them. So I'm going to take the light darling duckling and I'm going to do like his belly. I'm going to color this all in and then I'll come in after this is dry. I'm going to come in with the dark and then I'll just add some of that shading onto him. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that I talked about at the very beginning, Yvonne, so I don't know if I mentioned it to you or not, or if I even knew about it yet. But yeah, there's some changes coming. The red rubber stamps or cling stamps are going away. The Stampin' Right markers are going away. The packaging for the stamps and dies are going to change. And then, of course, they already advertised about World Card Making Day. Okay. And the other thing I'm going to color too, this is the light. I'm going to do the candles on this cake as well. Okay, so usually to really blend with these alcohol markers, you want to do it while the ink is wet. But because some of these images are kind of small, and as a matter of fact, let me do the little tops to the little party hats. So I'm going to do the dark, and I'm going to use the brush tip. Yeah, see, it bleeds very easily. Matter of fact, let me take that one out. Let me bring in another one. Okay. I think that's all I'm doing in the yellow for that one. Okay, then I'm going to take my dark granny apple green, and I'm going to kind of, oof, the brush tip's horrible on that one. I'm going to do like the shadow area of the actual turtle body itself. I'm going to do the body in granny apple green, and then the shell is going to be done in shaded spruce. Okay. What I should have done is I should have colored some of this in advance. Okay. All right, I think that's all I need on that one. Let's see, on the light pecan pie, I'm going to do, what would this be? The toes? Toenails? Fingernails? Let's see, got two. Okay. Or that she was going away from red rubber has been in a short supply. Yeah. Which I don't understand why. I mean, they're not really specific as to what material is it that is either now they can't get it anymore or is low. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that red rubber would be something that would be in low supply unless it's the foam for them. I don't know. They really didn't go into much detail about it. All right, so I'm going to take the light shaded spruce. That tip is a little angled up, and I'm going to color the spots on the shell. My thing is going to be, you know, having to really look when it comes to the stamp sets, because you're not going to have those cases with the spines on them. That's kind of like my thing. And again, when a lot of stuff that I already have is in the other cases, I am definitely not going to change these cases out. Just, yeah, that's just not going to happen. I mean, what I really should be doing is at some point going through them and seeing what ones I want to keep and what ones, you know, to kind of like sell and do a little bit of purging, because even though this room is kind of a decent size, it's like, yeah, it's filling up. All right. Don't think I got anything else colored in that. Okay, then what do I want to do next? I'm going to take the Balmy Blue Dark, and I'm going to use this side here. I'm going to color the frosting on this cake. Originally, when I did the card sample, I did it with the light Balmy Blue, and then it was too light. But the thing is, once this dries, it's going to dry a little bit lighter than what it looks like right now. Okay, and then definitely these party hats, because this is where if the ink is still wet, it's going to... And let me see. I think this time what I'm going to do, in my sample card, here's the sample card. I had colored the hat part in the Poppy Parade and then did the dots in Balmy Blue. But the problem I was having, because I had to definitely redo one of them, is that that red ended up bleeding into that Balmy Blue. So then, like, one of my dots, yeah, it wasn't blue. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it this way. And then I'm definitely going to let this dry really well before I add the Poppy Parade to the dots. So I'll probably finish up these party hats. I'll do, you know, finish those up last. Okay, so I think I have everything in that color. And then, let's see, let's bring in the balloon. And I'm going to take my dark pool party. And let's do our shadow for our balloon. Am I still in the view? I don't want to come down too low and then you guys can't see what I'm doing. All right. I'm going to let that dry a little bit before I take the light to it. And then let's see. I'm going to take the dark Darling Duckling. And then these little lines here, I'm going to go over them. And then we'll go under here and add some of the shadow. Okay. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to take, let's see, what's the next colors I have here? Let's take our light Granny Apple Green, and we'll finish coloring in our turtles. over and do his arm. Or would that be considered a leg? I don't know. Okay. Okay, Carol. Yeah, tonight's is going a little bit longer. I didn't realize I was going to be going this long. I mean, in the very beginning, I mean, just like all the stuff that was going on. I mean, by the time I got done with that, we were already an hour into it. Hope to see you tomorrow night. Yeah, I decided that when I did that, I wasn't gonna start at the usual like 7 p.m. Started a little bit earlier. Okay, so I think all of that is done. Now, when that's dry, there's like these little, like, I don't know, like elbow, knees or whatever. I'm going to come back in with the dark and I'm going to just kind of like scribble over those. Just trace over the stamped line on that. Okay, so now what do I want to do? I want to take the Poppy Parade and I'm going to do the plate of my cake, but I'm going to wait to do those party hats. I'm going to give that a little bit more time to dry before I add any of this on there, because for some reason that particular marker is pretty inky. So I'm going to bring in my light pool party. And there's like a real big difference between the light and the dark, and my brush tip's getting a little worn. Okay, so there's our balloon. We'll set that aside. Our cake is done. Okay, then for my turtles, for the fill in the shell, I'm going to bring in dark shaded spruce. Some of these areas, it's just very, very tiny. So you want to give it like a light touch when you're coloring in between those sections. Okay. So there's that one. And then on this one, you got like right on this left side of them, there's a little bit of the shell right there. Okay, so the shell. Okay, so the shells are done. Then I'm going to actually add some cheeks to these guys. I don't know if the guys, girls, whatever. So we're going to give some, take the dark flirty flamingo, and I'm just going to add just a dot on either side. So that'll lighten up a little bit. And then we got the dark granny apple green. Like I said, these little swirly things that I guess is like the knees and the elbows. Just going to add that like so. Okay, so those two are done. Now, the fun part. Oh, brush tip very, very lightly because this is pretty inky and it will easily bleed out. So the original card that I did the red hat with the balmy blue dots. This time I did the opposite on it. Still looks really cute. Did this one. Okay, so we did it. Yay, I didn't need to use all the little extra bits. Okay, so now let's get our card put together. So let me bring in the card base. Let's see, I popped up. So for the hats, I'm going to bring in my glue dots. And I'm going to add one dot towards the very bottom of the hat. And then I'm going to put it on my turtle's head like so. And then on the back, because I'm going to be popping them up, I'm going to add a dimensional right over where that hat overlaps the head. And that'll reinforce it a little bit more so it stays on. Okay. Do the other one. Yeah, at first I wasn't sure about this suite, but I think what kind of changed it was when Stampin' Up! Had that suite sale where you bought one and then you got another one at 50% off. Okay, so on this particular turtle right here, like I showed earlier, when you die cut, um, it does put that slit on the arm right there, so you can take something and you can tuck it under, and that's what we're going to do with this greeting piece. So when I add my dimensionals, I don't want to do it right there until, well, actually, I guess I can put that on there like so right now, and then I can add my dimensional to it. Where's my dimensionals? There it is. And let me see, make sure that it's where I want it to be. Okay. And that'll kind of hold that in place. And then we can, okay, one of these arms, this arm's going to have a balloon as well. It's going to kind of tuck under a little bit. So I'm going to hold off on, actually I'm going to use a small dimensional for that. Let's see. Put this one here. And then on this one, we're not tucking anything under this arm on this one because The other arm is going to be the one that's going to hold the cake. All right, can I get one more fit right in there? Okay, now let me get, actually I'm going to take and add, and then I'm going to add this balloon, and when I add the balloon, like so, I'm going to add my dimensional right there, so it kind of holds it down like so. I'll stand like that. Okay, so that one's good. The cake is going to be in his hand like so. So I'm going to take I'm going to take 2 glue dots actually, and I'm going to put this just on the very bottom of the cake, just to kind of hold it in place, and then I'll reinforce it with a dimensional. So then he's going to stand like this. So we're going to put the cake like so, and then we'll add a dimensional right there, so that reinforces it reinforces it and it stays put. All right, so now let's get all these pieces onto our card base. I seriously did not think that this, oh, I need to add a little dimensional up the top there to hold that hat down. And the same for this other one over here. Oh, and then the other thing we need another dimensional to put on the back of the balloon as well. Right, and then all we need is feet too. And right there like so. Okay, now we can put everything down. So for him, kind of get in the screen, and he's going to go right there. Let's make sure our balloon is kind of straight. Okay. All right. Turtles look like they're going to fight, huh? Well, we got them separated, but there's cake involved. How can you fight when you got cake? All right, and then this one will go right here, and then of course these extra party hats, I don't need these now. Now I could end up saving them, but you know, I got so much stuff all over the place. Yeah, these little bits I don't need to be saving them. I mean, I could put them in, you know, the stamp case, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. All right, so now I'm going to take the embellishments, and this time I'm going to use the shaded spruce ones. Actually, you know what that almost looks like, that color? Doesn't that almost look like Bermuda Bay? It looks like Bermuda Bay to me. That was a color that I was sad when that one retired, because I really liked that one. I mean, my favorite color is purple, definitely purple. But then, you know, aquas and blues are a very, very close second. And of course, these, you can see right through these, so they kind of take on whatever color is behind them. And then one more. Now on these cards, I did not opt in to do any Winkostella on them. Okay, so that is, we're done with the card. 2 hours and 34 minutes. Okay, so let me show you close up our third card. So there's our third one. Took a little bit because we did some coloring with the Stampin' Blends, but in the end, very cute. And then we found a different way to use the ribbon. I just added it in the middle because you can see that if I would have tied this in a bow, this is the area I was going to put in, you would see that that just would have been too much on that card front when you got all of that already going on. So so let me bring in the other cards. So the first two were pretty simple. It was using the designer series paper and doing some fussy cutting and doing some scene cards. So here's our first one, the whole music theme. Got to have the music theme. And then there's the inside. Did a little bit of stamping and a little bit of coloring, and then we got the pop of the red stamped on that tag. Now I thought about stamping this directly on the paper, but I thought because of the busyness with the black, I don't know if you would have been able to really see that all that well, so that's why I opted to put it on a white label. And then the second one, of course, if you're going to have a beach scene, you got to do one that's, with the beach stuff. So a lot of more fussy cutting on that one. And then same concept, the same layout for the inside that I did on the other one. Again, the strip is part of that same sheet of paper that this was on. And again, these two pieces right here, on the paper, when you trim them out, it's 4x6. So this was good, but it was too long, so I took a little less on this side and a little more on that side, so it was 5 1/4, and then I just equally trimmed these two ends down, so it was 5 1/4. And then the third one, this one is basically using the cardstocks and stamping and doing the coloring and doing the sanding on the two-tone. Now there is a two-tone cardstock pack that you will find in the annual catalog with where the turtle-ycute suite is. So instead of buying just whole packs of the two-tone cardstock, because I think you get like 10 sheets in a pack. If you go for the combo packs, and there's like a lot of colors that are repeated in other packs, but I have a whole bunch of different colors, and it's just from combo packs. I haven't bought a full pack of just one particular color. So it's really fun, the things that you can do with that two-tone cardstock. You can emboss it, you can sand it, you can stamp on it, you can crumple it up and then flatten it out and put it on. It adds a little bit of texture. And again, there's a darker side and a lighter side, so you can use either side of them. So with that, the cards are done. Yeah, I have linked, if blah, 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 blah. I can't talk. If if you popped on kind of late, I do have pinned up at the top of the chat box. There is a link that will take you to a Google spreadsheet. Add your name if you would like to participate in the card giveaway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take those names from the spreadsheet. I'm going to add them to my wheel of names. And then I'm going to, yeah, 3 people that I choose are going to, well, 2 people will get to choose the card they want. The third person will get the card that's left. Now, I did mention I did some a little bit different. So in that pinned comment, I did change the verbiage up a little bit. So if when you click on it, it's going to take you to that Google spreadsheet. If for some reason you're having a hard time adding your name, simply say something in the chat box, and then somebody will be more than happy to add your name on there. I did change it a little bit where I've had people, well, they'll add their name like earlier on, when I'm doing the live, but then they'll end up leaving towards the end. And then the problem is if their name is on there and I happen to choose their name, then it's kind of like it puts you on the spot because they're not here to choose the card that they want. So I'm trying to make it, fair for those that are, that stuck around and are here till the very end. And guys, I was really not expecting this live to go as long as it did. But then I also didn't think it was going to take me as long as it did to get through all of that housekeeping stuff at the beginning. A lot, a lot going on. Okay, so let me see what we got here. And then also, if you're new here, if I have never sent you a card in the mail, if you're a new winner, also in that pinned comment, I also have my email address there. I'll need you to send me an email if you're new. If I never sent you a card before, um, send me an email with your mailing address so then that way I can get the card out. My plan is that I am got some stuff that I'm going to be doing tomorrow where I'm going to be out and about. And one of the things I'm going to do, the winners of the cards tonight, I am going to get those. I'm going to drop those off at the post office in the morning. So again, if you're new, if you can send me your mailing address this evening, then that way I can get your card out at the same time. I'm just really looking quickly at these comments. I really, really like all three cards, is what Froggy's saying. I have to say number one is my favorite. My family is really, yeah, you know what? When you're in Memphis and you choose the business name of Blue City Stampin' Studio, I mean, yeah. And if you're all about Elvis too, I'm sorry, I'm just all about Elvis. Um, Let's see. See. Now, again, the designer series paper has some of those new in colors. So the paper is currently part of that in color sale. Um, let's see. All right. All right. So let me see who is on the list. Oh, and if you can give the video a thumbs up, and if you're new watching, um, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. It'll let you know when I have posted a pre-recorded video, and also what do you call it, when I go live. And tomorrow I will be, okay, so Terry, Tracy, Froggy, Becky, Sharon, and Cynthia. Is Yvonne still here? Does Yvonne want to be on the list? Whoops, that's not what I want. Yeah, Tracy's on here. Um, oops. All right. Terry, Tracy, Froggy, Becky, Sharon, and Cynthia. Okay, so Yvonne doesn't want to be added to the list. Is there anybody else? Or is that it? Think that's it? Okay. Let me go ahead and take these names. And let me add them to the wheel. Okay, and then I'm going to, now I got to move these out of the way. Again, card number 1, number 2, number 3. Let me get my pen. And then my little sticky notes. And I have to bring the laptop in, so let me unplug it. And then I'm going to have to move the lights because these lights are going to glare right into the screen. I know this is a crazy way to do things, but all right. So let me bring this up and let's go ahead and give it a spin. And all of you on here, I have your address now, so there's no need to have to send me an email with your address. And Froggy, you are our first winner. And where's your little sticky note with your name on it? There you are. Which card would you like, Froggy? Number 1? Okay. Oh, don't knock myself out with the light fixture. Okay. All right, let's... Second card. Tracy. Okay, where's Tracy? Tracy should be near the top. Okay. Number 2, the beachy one. Okay, so now our final card, the one that we did all the coloring on. Sharon. Okay. All right, so let me get this out of the way and we'll wrap things up. We've been at this for a while. Unbelievable. I think this is a record of the longest live that I've done. So thank you everyone for joining me. Remember tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central, I'm going to actually update the thumbnail and schedule the live for tomorrow night. I had problems in the past where trying to schedule like 2 different lives, even though they were on different days. So as soon as this is done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to schedule and post out there for the live that I'm going to do tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're not going to be doing any stamping. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my September through December uh, mini catalog and the September online exclusives, the pre-order. It's a decent sized pre-order, so I definitely have some stuff to show you. I've situated and planned it out where I'm going to show you all the patterns of the paper. I have like my embellishments in its holder. I basically set it up to where I can show you everything and then afterwards I can kind of put it away. So I'm going to do that tomorrow at 6 p.m. So I'm going to start an hour earlier. Hopefully it's not extremely long. Because there was much, I couldn't add it to to my Friday Night Live. Also, if now I know most of you already have that are on here, but if you're watching the replay, thank you so much. If you like the projects I made, please give the video a thumbs up. And then also subscribe to the channel and then hit that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live or when I post a video. Also in the description, I do have a link for my newsletter. I send that out on the first Tuesday of every month, and the only other time I'll send it again that same month is if Stampin' Up! Has a sale or something that's going on. but that's coming up. And then it has all of the list of what my video schedule is going to be for that month, anything that I'll be doing here, anything that's Stampin' Up, promotion wise that they're doing, that'll be out there. Again, if you're not working with another demonstrator and you're here in the US and you would like a copy of that holiday mini catalog, or maybe also the annual catalog, my email again is in the description, plus it's pinned up at the top of the comment box. Just send me an email with your name and mailing address, and I'll get one out to you. And again, that PDF, the free PDF for tonight's projects, uh, that little verbiage that's just above the list of supplies in the description, that you click on that link, it'll take you to my Google Drive, and then all of the lives that I've done, there is a PDF, and it goes all the way back from January 26th of 2024. So there's a lot of them that are out there. And plus, there's also a link within that PDF that will take you right back to the video that I did using that product. So, with that, everyone, thank you so much for sticking around all this time. It did go a little bit long. Um, so, thank you. Okay, wait. Becky said I sent you an email if you didn't care to forward to everyone about the. Oh, if I. Oh. Okay, so you got a little more detail in that email, Becky. Okay. So what I'll do is I will send that out to everyone that I send the Christmas, not the Christmas, the birthday card list and all that on. And Cynthia, if you can send me like when your birthday is, so then that way I can add it and then I can send the spreadsheet out just, one more time and all that, to include all that info. And so everybody, thank you. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful weekend. And I hope to see you tomorrow night. Everyone have a blessed one. Bye bye.